Okay, welcome back to another Japan Life reading vlog. This is going to be kind of an end of the year vlog. It is currently the week of Christmas Eve. Yes. So I think it's like the 18th of December or something like that. So I wanted to kind of document all of the books that I finished out my year with, because I have been able to carve out a lot more time at the end of the year than I expected. And I think I plan on getting quite a few books read because my speed really seems to have picked up at the end of the year. So we'll see what I get to. But within those books that I've been reading faster than I expected, I found many favorites already. And so I really have high hopes for these last 2 weeks of the year. I really think that I can find some favorites. So my the end of the year videos, like best of the year and all of that, will be coming out in January, because I think it would be unfair not to take into account some of these books that I picked up. And the first one of those is the one that made me want to start this vlog right away, and that is The Ninth Reign. Excuse me, Miss Williams, Miss Jen Williams, who told you that you could write something this interesting, this intriguing, this good? Everyone was a little bit kind of cagey about what this book was about. They said it was interesting, it was weird, it was different, it had unique world building. So I kind of knew that I wasn't going into something that I'd read before, but when I tell you, this world building is so cool. We've got like these parasite spirits, we've got dead gods, we've got old wars that still have, ramifications to this day. This is so intriguing, and very rarely do you get a species that drinks blood that isn't a vampire, but they're in here. And the reason that they drink blood is also, it's twisted into or combined with like their religion and the way that the history unfolded for these people. So there's a reason for it. This is so good. Where am I? I am 126 pages in right now, and that's just in 2 sittings, and that's pretty good for me. I used to read a lot faster than I do nowadays, so I could not put this book down. And the last couple days I haven't been able to sit down with it. I've been busy hanging out with friends and meeting people for the holidays. How dare I have people that love me? How dare they get in the way of me picking this book up? But I have wanted to do nothing but read this book and I haven't been able to for the past couple days. And tonight, I have the chance to. So, I want to sit down and blow through a good portion of this. I'm going to get some hot tea, maybe a hot toddy if I'm feeling spicy, Just settle in, get cozy, and read this book, because I am fascinated. I have no idea what I'm going to get. And it's been a long time since I felt that way, since I really didn't know what I was in for when it comes to like a fantasy world and creatures that inhabit it. So this is absolutely giving a 5-star vibe, and I'm really hoping that'll continue to be the case. Okay, so this is not where I expected to be checking in from. I am at the Fukuoka airport. It turns out that one of my oldest and greatest Booktube friends, Tammie from Tammie Tries to Read, is in Tokyo. And she reached out to me and was like, well, she reached out to me months ago, and then both of us forgot to plan to meet each other. She was like, hey, I'm in your time zone a couple days ago. And I was like, I completely forgot that you were coming here. So, Japan's small. It's a hop, skip, and a jump up to Tokyo. So I was able to arrange with my wonderful, in-laws and my husband, and they're gonna watch Sumire for the next day and a half, and I'm popping up to Tokyo to go see Tammie. what a pleasant surprise. So this is my first time traveling without my baby, so I miss her already. But I am excited to have some time just to not be home. You know, I've been home for so long. So I'm excited. I just had a burger and I'm finishing up my vanilla shake, and then I'm gonna go get some souvenirs from Fukuoka to bring to Tammie and her family, because I've lived in Japan for way too long to like show up somewhere without a gift. It's in my blood now. So I'm gonna go do that. And then we're gonna get on the plane and head out. So this is gonna be randomly a very exciting reading vlog, because since I'm reading a Booktube friend, we might actually do some reading. So this might still, I think I'm still gonna put this on the Made Between the Pages channel, because I'm meeting a Booktube friend and it wouldn't really be right to put that on the Japan channel. So yeah, this is gonna be an exciting vlog. I also am loving the 9th Reign so much that I couldn't stomach reading another book. So I bought the Kindle version, because you know I wasn't gonna bring the broken binding version here with me, right? So I have that to read now on as ebook, so I'm excited. I'll be reading that on the plane for sure. Hi, look who I found! I found a Tammie in the wild, all the way across the world. So I mentioned in the check-in that I did before I came that she had told me she was coming, and then both of us kind of conveniently forgot the fact. And then a couple days ago, she was like, "Hey, I'm here." I was like,
"We're the same time zone.
It's not that far." So here we are in Tokyo.
I just realized I blended in the background.
You know, sometimes it's good. You know, you have the same taste as the place we are. So where are we going? Coffee Rights? Coffee Rights. Last night we went out on the town. No, we just had some yakitori. Just decided not to break out the camera because it was like just being together is better. So, but what I do love about it is that yesterday, both of us, so we know that we have a day that we're going to be hanging out and talking to each other, right? But just in case, both of us packed our Kindle. It's like, when do we think we're going to read this? It doesn't matter. Okay, we need it.
Literally, we're like going, where were we? We were going shopping, and then we were going to go eat. And we're like, when would we ever get these out?
But just in case.
But today,
yes, we planned for it. So
it's valid today.
It is. We made space. So her family's wonderful, cute parents invited me to stay with them. So spent the night with their family, and now we're hanging out. We had breakfast, Japanese style breakfast, and now we're just gonna have some coffee and read.
Caffeinate ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's kind of nice to read in the same space as someone else that reads, because there's no pressure.
Exactly.
So I'm still reading The 9th Reign and loving it. I read a lot of it on the plane, so I'm having a good time.
How far in are you?
40%. Yeah, so I'm getting there. But what about you?
I'm unfortunately reading The Night Ends with Fire by K.X. Song. It's quite frankly awful. You'll be hearing about it from me sometime soon.
Yes, I'll be sure to have her channel linked down below. Plug. She does great reading vlogs, and she does not hold back when she doesn't like something, which is delightful. So
I'm not vlogging this one, but you will hear about it. You will hear about it.
So we're having very opposite reading experiences right now. But But yeah, so I just wanted to make sure to capture this on camera because I can't believe one of my first Booktube friends, 3.5 years ago.
That's
4 years ago, and we actually finally met in person. The beauty of Booktube.
It really is.
Look at books bringing us together.
We're so nerdy.
We are.
You'll love to see it.
We're so nerdy and we own it, okay?
You'll love to see it.
We own it. Alright, so we're gonna enjoy our nerd time. And I'll check back in with you guys at some point in this vlog. After meeting up with Tammie, which was just wonderful, it was so much fun, I had lunch with my sister-in-law who lives near Tokyo, just outside of Tokyo, and then she took me to the airport. So this is the ride to the airport, and I thought I would show you guys a little bit of what Tokyo looks like from a higher standpoint, way different from Fukuoka. The amount of buildings is just ridiculous. This is dinner tonight. Hayata's working until late, so I picked up some sushi from the grocery store. It got smushed together on the ride home. But, I mean, you really can't beat fresh salmon. So, I can't wait to dig into this. Hello! So, I got home about 2 days ago. Yesterday was kind of like a reset at the house type of day, so I did not record a check-in, but I had a great time in Tokyo, as you saw from the clips I was able to grab. I just can't believe that Tammie and I were able to find each other. As I said in the clip, I think that she was one of the first Booktube friends I ever made, and I just loved that she was on her way to Hong Kong and was stopping in Tokyo, and I had a chance to pop up there. I hadn't done any solo travel since being pregnant, so it was so refreshing because I used to do that all the time, make like little trips like that. So it felt really good. I came back really refreshed. But ironically today I have been exhausted. Like this level of exhaustion is rare for me. I know, right? So it's way later in the day than I was hoping, but it is the 23rd of December now. So tomorrow's Christmas Eve. And I'm kind of the person who has to make the Christmas atmosphere and do the prep here because in Japan, the big thing is New Year's. New Year's is kind of like their Christmas, if you want to think of it that way, where the family gets together. But I want to do Christmas, but no one else really knows how to do a Western Christmas. How dare they? So it's kind of up to me to do the prep. So I'm hoping today to do some meal prep. I'm gonna make this it's like a dumpling, a cream dumpling soup, but we've learned, like I tweaked a couple things in it, and we've learned that it's actually really good as like a homemade ramen base. So I think I'm gonna make a bunch of that soup and have it frozen because tomorrow I'm gonna be prepping for Christmas dinner the next day with his family. So having something already made that we can just heat up throughout the day would be really helpful. So I think I might actually try to capture cooking. Is she a lifestyle vlog girly now? I don't know, but I might try, see if I can get some angles to show you guys that cooking process. And then I have to finish wrapping some presents, but we've got quite a bit under the tree because American Santa also came through the mail the other day, and yeah, our presents pretty much doubled. So and of course most of them are this little ones, and rightfully so. But just a quick reading update. I have the 9th Reign here. I have been reading it on my Kindle, but this is prettier, so I'm gonna hold this up. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed, guys. I am 63% of the way through this book, and every time I sit down to read it, I can't stop unless something else rips me away. Obviously, there are many things to rip me away from it, which is why I haven't finished it yet. but every time I pick it up, I am sucked immediately into this world. This is such a surprising, absolute win for me. I went in with literally zero expectations. So maybe that's helping it a lot. I mean, I think that could be part of it, but I also think it's just really, really fucking good. Like the world building is phenomenal. It's so unique. I can't get over how unique and interesting it is. I'm also really into, you know, like origin stories and histories and mythology. And this book really plays with the slow unraveling layer by layer of the history of these peoples and the wars that they had in the past. And so I'm just chomping at the bit for the next piece of evidence, next, you know, little scrap of information that we get, and I'm trying to piece it together. I'm having such an amazing time. One thing I do want to say as a disclaimer is there are bugs in this. Like, if you can't do bugs at all, just be aware. I mean, so far it's not that graphic, but if you're really squeamish about bug motifs, just be aware going into this that is a big motif here. I remember when I read, what's it called? Dreams of the Dying by Nicholas Liezzo. That had bugs in it, and I didn't like warn people before I recommended it, and a couple people were like, I wish you told me. So I took that to heart. So if that really bothers you, just be aware going into this. But there's so much else to the story. It doesn't focus solely on that. So I think you could probably skim those sections if you wanted to, but just a disclaimer putting it out there. So I'm really hoping to finish this tonight. Like I said, it's later than I wanted to really get my day started. I've had a gigantic mug of green tea, but I think this caffeine's not going to cut it, and I'm going to have to make myself some coffee as well. I don't know what it is today that is just, I haven't felt this exhausted in a long time for some reason. So, but she's full of energy, so we love that for her. So it is later than I wanted to start my day, but I'm hoping after I get her down later tonight, I can sit down and really just blow through this and just soak it all up. I started by taking off the skins from the sausages. Takes way longer than I would like, but you know, here we are. Then I diced up some onions and some garlic and put them in a pot to brown along with the meat. After it's nice and browned, then you're gonna put in a little bit of flour. And then once you cook that for about a minute or two to get rid of the raw flour taste, you're gonna put in some mustard, some hot sauce. I use sriracha. I think I also put basil, oregano, an array of spices in there, as well as, of course, salt and pepper. Add some chicken broth, and after that, slowly add the cream and stir it all up. Then in the end, add your veggies and dumpling. Okay guys, this is the final result. It looks delicious. I boiled the gyoza, the dumplings separately because they don't freeze well. But you put them in after, and it's just a warm, comforting, perfect soup for a cold day. So I'm gonna enjoy this. Took me way longer to make than usual because of interruptions like the one you're hearing now. And I am starving. Itadakimasu. Hi, Merry Chrysler, y'all. It is 2 days after Christmas. And I'm honestly proud of myself for picking up a camera so soon after Christmas, because we are in the time warp between Christmas and New Year's where time doesn't exist, calories don't matter. The normal rules of physics do not apply in this time frame. But I thought that I would try to get a little bit of filming done. We did some makeup today, and I think I'm being too ambitious, but I might try to film a video. I want to do a reaction to my 2023 goals, like watch the video for the first time since I made it with you guys and see how I did, and then, you know, say my 2024 goals. I have a feeling I failed a lot, but we'll see. So yeah, I might do that. I was supposed to have some family come over today, but one of the members caught a cold, and so, I don't know why I'm being cagey about this. Her sister caught a cold, and she doesn't want to bring the cold around Sumire. So we're gonna push those plans back about a day or two. So I thought maybe I'll have time to film today. We'll see. Again, being ambitious. Sumire is gonna wake up from her nap soon, I think. But I can at least film this check-in. So, what is going on reading-wise? I finished the 9th reading. And if you are on any of my socials, you'll know that I blasted out a review for this the day that I finished it, because I'm obsessed. 5 gajillion stars I would give this if I could. When I do my full wrap up, I'm gonna sit down and talk about, like, I'm gonna write down some thoughts so I can talk a little bit more in depth, talk better about this book. Clearly I can't get words out because it's one of those books that kind of just, you want to just say it's so good and throw it at people. Like, that's how I feel about this book. If you are a mythology and folklore nut like I am, this book is for you. It is absolutely up your alley, because one of the main focuses of this book is we slowly get to piece together what happened in the past in this world. The stories that have become lore and baked into these different societies, what actually happened at that time. And we get those in just the perfect timing. Like, you want to know the next thing, and Williams makes you wait a little while, and then she gives you a little piece for the puzzle just at the right time to keep you going. Like, it doesn't get too frustrating, but it made me blow through this book. I read this so quickly, and it gave me that much sought after feeling all of us bookworms want and we chase, where when I wasn't actively reading this book, I was desperate to be doing so. I wanted to be reading 24/7, and that is the feeling we all chase. And I hadn't had it that pure of a feeling like that for a while until this book came along. So I am obsessed. The found family vibes are awesome here. As a character-based reader, I will say that the characters aren't as in-depth as they usually are in books that like really capture me. But I think that it didn't feel like skimming at all. It was like this perfect middle ground where I really did care about the characters. I would die for Vintage, honestly. And I've seen her compared to Lady Trent from, oh my God, why can't I think of the series? I love that series. The History of Dragon series, there we go. And yes, very much gives me those vibes. I would also die for that character. So I like this kind of old woman quirky archetype that like doesn't give a shit what people think, because she's older now and she's like, whatever, I don't care what you have to say. And they're like this quirky not historian, a scientist or whatever, like, or academic. That character's in here as well, and I adore her. And her dynamic with the other two main POVs, one is what's called a fell witch. She has like some elemental powers, but she's in prison. We get her point of view as well, and she's very take no shit. She doesn't say anything extra. And the third guy is from this group of people who is like a mix between like elves and vampires. It's really, really cool. But the reason that they drink blood actually has like a historical reason to it. It's so good. All of the little quirks of the world and the characters have a connection to the world building. It's so good. You can tell that Williams had a very clear vision for what kind of world she wanted to create, and she executed that perfectly to a T. So not only do we have the lore, but we also have this like kind of eldritch horror vibe antagonist of like bug people. It sounds so weird, I know, but it's so well done. I also love how the nature in this world is dangerous. It's not like, oh, beautiful nature, I'm so awed by it, which, you know, isn't wrong. I feel that way in real life all the time when I go hiking. Mountains are some of my favorite things for that very reason. But here, the nature has like a mind of its own. It's its own character, and you got to be careful around it. And I really, really like that aspect as well. I think I do need to like write down my thoughts, because obviously this is all over the place and I keep remembering things that I liked about it. So I'm gonna write down some notes and then maybe even do a full dedicated review for this, because this book has a really weird release thing going on where it's only released in the UK physically. And this is a broken binding copy, which is why I'm able to have it. And I'm so thankful I have this series now, knowing how hard it is to get physical copies outside the UK. So, but I do know that you can get the audiobook and the ebook now. They are available. So I would run, not walk, to get this book. I'm obsessed. But I don't hear enough people talking about it because of that weird release schedule, at least in the States. So I think I'm gonna do a dedicated review for this, but I will also talk about it in my wrap up that I'm gonna do for the end of the year. I got a lot of that type of content coming. I have to do my wrap up for what I read, and then I have to do my final books. But I don't do my final books until it's the next year. And this book is a very good example of why. I read this in the last, 2-3 weeks of the year, and it's one of might be my top book of the year. I don't know, I have to sit down and look at my list, but like, this is why. So I wanted to immediately go into The Bitter Twins, which is the second book after The Ninth Reign, but I had a couple other books that I really wanted to at least to really attempt to finish or get back into before the end of the year. So I decided to do that instead. So I'm right now reading Bookshops and Bonedust. I sat down to read it last night. I'm 10% of the way through. It's delightful. I'm loving this. I know I'm going to eat this up. If Sumire sleeps a bit longer, actually, I might read this and then try to film during her second nap. I think that might be best. See if I can read some more of this because I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. This is the prequel to Legends and Lattes, so we get to see Viv before she's kind of reached this point of wanting to settle down that we see in the first book. And I'm really having a lot of fun interacting with younger Viv. So I'm gonna eat this up, I think. It has that same cozy, intangible feeling to it that Baldry just gets on the page so well. So I'm enjoying every second of this, and I think I'm gonna finish this hopefully today, if not today, tomorrow. And then the next book that I plan to pick up is The Helm of Midnight. It's over there. I didn't bring it over here, but look at me. That is actually the next book I plan to put my eyes on. Also from Moby Dick, I do have a plan to read it, but I don't think it's gonna happen this year because Crystal, who is my whiskey sister, love her to death, she agreed to buddy read it with me. And so she's kind of working her way up to where I am in the book. Honestly, I could do a little bit of a refresher, but I remember the big plot beats. So she's making her way up to where I am, and then I'm hoping that if I have someone else reading this with me, I'll actually read the book because, like I said a million times on the channel, I like it. Like I don't know why I had this mental block. So I think if I'm reading it with someone and I can discuss along the way, it'll give me a bit more motivation. So Moby Dick is waiting for that. Maybe I just wanted an excuse to push to next year and feel all right about it. But you know what? We're gonna live in delusion. I've got some lofty goals, but I think I can do it because Japanese New Year is coming up, and basically it's their Christmas is the best way to think about it. It's a big deal. The family all gets together, but I basically handled Christmas. I did all the cooking, I did all of the prep for Christmas because it's a Western thing. And Hayato's family is very new to it. So, you know, I did the stockings, I did everything. And so on the other side of that is for New Year, I just have to show up. Like him and his family are gonna handle that completely. So that means that I'll also have some childcare because the family's all getting together. So I'm really hoping that I can get some reading done kind of in this liminal space between Christmas and New Year because there'll be a lot of family coming in and out, I hope, once Hayato's sister's cold goes away. So if I have childcare, then I think I could really do some damage on these books. And I am in a reading mood. Every time I have time, I really want to be reading a book, which brings me so much joy to have it come back. This love for reading come back so fully. And I think a lot of it is because the end of the year has slapped book-wise. I have loved almost everything I've picked up in the last month and a half. They've all been 4 or 5 stars. And then this one just catapulted my desire to read, you know, to the heavens. So The Bitter Twins will definitely be my first official read of 2024. Like, no question. Also, this has nothing to do with like books or my daily life, but I was scrolling on Instagram and, you know, I get the TikTok stuff when it makes its way over to Instagram because I'm old, I guess, and that's how it works. So I finally became privy to the discussion of this like weaponized incompetence thing that's been going around on TikTok, where I guess a bunch of husbands are being called out, and I guess rightfully so, for weaponizing incompetence against their wives, especially in the holiday season. So instead of like wrapping their own presents, saying like, oh, you do it better, can you do it? Even though they can do it, they just don't want to, so they pretend that they can't. And so there's been this whole discussion about that, and it's just crazy to me how many people say that they deal with this in their life. Like, I can't fathom a world in which my husband is a man-child I need to take care of. Like, there are things, of course, that my husband does that get on my nerves and I have to repeatedly do, like taking his socks off and leaving them in the middle of the floor. That's never gonna change about him. That's just his habit. And I have those habits too, though. Like, that's a habit, I think. But to have a husband that's just like, or a partner anyway, that's just like, it doesn't do stuff that they can do, that's so far from my experience, it's crazy. Like, I worked really, really hard for Christmas, right? And he supported me in what ways he could, but a lot of it is, you know, like I said, Western culture. So I took on that, not burden, that's the wrong word, but I took on that task. And then in return, I was exhausted, so I went to bed early. He got up with the baby in the middle of the night. He spilled the baby's milk. Did he come wake me up and ask me what to do? No, he cleaned the milk and then had to wash his clothes. So while he was washing his clothes, he decided he was gonna break down all the boxes that needed to be put out. Because he knows for me, waking up to a clean house means a lot. So he was like, well, I'm awake anyway to do this little load of laundry, so why don't I do something else that'll make her happy? Like, I'm not here to brag about my husband. I'm just here shocked that people put up with this, because your partner is supposed to be your partner. It's in the word. They're not your child. Like, taking care of someone because you love them and taking care of them because they're acting like a child are two very different things. So I don't know. I don't usually do social commentary on here, but that blew my mind. Like, don't be settling for another child that is the same age as you. Like, don't. There's better out there, girlies. There really is. Don't be settling for that. Anyway, getting off of my soapbox, I'm going to get back to reading, and I actually haven't eaten yet, so I need to do that. It's almost noon, so I need to have a breakfast lunch situation. I'll get some reading done, and I don't know, like I said, filming might be too ambitious, but I'll try. Okay, so someone woke up right after I did that check-in, so we're gonna go take a walk, but I thought I would show this adorable matching outfit that her Japanese family got her. My in-laws got us matching Jordan outfits, and it's adorable. It's our first matching outfit. So we're gonna go take a walk together. You want mommy's phone? We're gonna go take a walk together. Yes, we are. Yeah. And get some fresh air. So no reading yet. The finishing touch is this little Miffy hat. I love this on her. I'm gonna be so sad when she outgrows it. She's getting there, but we are all ready for our walk, aren't we? Mama might just buy lunch out because I'm hungry and I don't have it in me to cook after this walk. So I think we're gonna go get some lunch. Let's go. All right, guys, it is the 31st, so the last day of the year. And in Japan, New Year's, I think I mentioned earlier in this vlog, New Year's is basically like their Christmas. So Hayato's sister, my sister-in-law, is coming over soon. And the younger crowd, we're gonna hang out for a little bit. And then a little bit later today, my in-laws, Hayato's mom and dad, are gonna come, and they're bringing all the delicious food with them. There's a New Year's food called osechi, which traditionally was created because wives wanted to take that time off, the New Year's time off as well, and they were sick of cooking for everyone. So they made all of these types of food that could stay for a long time without needing to be refrigerated or anything. And so that became the traditional kind of New Year's food. And osechi is like a collection of a bunch of small portions of those foods, kind of like a tapas style. And Hayato's family, they're foodies, so they get 2 different osechi every year. One is a traditional type from a sushi restaurant, and then another one is like a French fusion type of osechi. And they get both every year and bring them. And then his mom also makes a bunch of food. So the way his family does it is the 31st, while the osechi is fresh, we eat our fill. There's always way too much food. You can never finish it. And then the second day, on the 1st, is when it's kind of like you stay in your pajamas, you don't do shit, you watch TV, you hang out, and you eat all the leftovers. Kind of like those Thanksgiving leftover sandwiches, like that kind of vibe. That's what you do on the second day. Unfortunately, my sister-in-law and her husband have to return back tomorrow to Tokyo, because that's where they live, but they're gonna hang out with us at least for tonight. So really looking forward to some family time. I'll try to get a couple, clips of the food at least here and there. And just a book update, I'm still reading Bookshops and Bonedust. I'm on page 136, I think? Yes, 136. So I'm making some good progress, but I was hoping to finish this a couple days ago, and then, life happened. So I'm not sure how much reading I'll get done. I might get some done while everyone's here, kind of doing their own separate thing, watching TV or whatever. But I don't think I'll be able to start The Helm of Midnight before midnight tonight. So I think it might be my first read of 2024. So we'll do Helm of Midnight and then The Bitter Twins, which is the sequel to Ninth Reign. Those will probably be my first 2 reads of the new year. But Bookshops and Bonedust will probably be the last one, which means I can officially make my end of the year lists starting tomorrow. So I'm excited for that. You can look for that content coming out really soon after this vlog, because I think this will go up first. But Bookshops and Bonedust is delightful. It's so fun. It's got the same cozy vibes as Legends and Lattes, and I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. So hopefully, yeah, I can finish this and settle down with it for a little bit tonight.
Hey.
手出してる。
いただきます。So who knew it was a lie when I said I was going to read while my in-laws were over for the holidays and I was hosting? I said it anyway, but me. I did not get like any reading done during that time because I was hosting. You know, just having people over and just enjoying family time, and reading is a more solitary, you know, activity. So I didn't read much over the holidays, but after that, actually yesterday, 2 days ago, I don't remember, I finished Bookshops and Bonedust. You also might notice that my voice is kind of strange. That's because I came down with a case of tonsillitis. We love that for me. I'm very susceptible to it, have been since I was a kid. Almost got my tonsils removed, actually, because of that. So I could sense it coming, and thankfully I had some leftover meds from the last time this happened to me, usually about once a year. So I nipped it in the bud before it got, like, to the point where it was too painful to, like, breathe. But for the last 2 days, yeah, it's not been fun. So haven't been able to film for the last couple days, even though, like, circumstances wise should have been able to. Health wise I wasn't able to. So have not filmed the end of the year content I really wanted to yet. It's coming to you guys. It's the new year already, but I usually release it at the beginning of the new year anyway, like my best books and stuff. Still hasn't been filmed, but it is coming, I promise. Best books, worst books. What's the other one I really want to do? Page chewing for the upcoming month, which we're already halfway through. Not halfway through, but we're already... Anyway, I still want to tell you guys what we have coming this month for page chewing. That'll be a short video coming out. And my December, November wrap up, as well as my... I think I'm going to skip a January TBR. Maybe I'll do like a 2-month TBR situation. I think that might work. We'll see. So I've got a bunch of videos I want to get out to you guys. As you can hear, my throat's getting better. So I'm hoping by the next day or two, it'll sound normal enough to like film. So, but on the vlogs, you guys get, you know, my shitty voice because it's not an official sit down video. So you get what you get. To get back to actual books though, I did finish Bookshops and Bonedust last night while I was dying on the couch. And as I wrote in my review on Goodreads, it gave me joy when I thought joy was very far away while I was suffering. And I had a great time with this. It's a prequel to Legends and Lattes, and because it's a prequel and Viv is still our main character, we're dealing with a much more rambunctious, like antsy Viv. And I was wondering how Baldry was going to make the same kind of cozy, you know, kind of stay in one place feel that he had with Legends and Lattes, like kind of putting down roots. And he found a really unique and interesting way to do that and to weave in where Viv goes in the future. So I thought it was really, really well done. Of course, it's hard to live up to the original, which was a 5-star. This is just under at a 4.5, but I thoroughly enjoyed my time. And I could definitely see myself revisiting this when I need like a warm hug of a book, or a book that deals with the bittersweetness of endings and beginnings. I think he handled that really well here. So had a great time with this one. And now I am currently reading The Helm of Midnight. I took the cover off because that means I'm actually intending to read it. You know I'm serious. And I'm not lying either. There it is, The Helm of Midnight. I'm doing it, guys. It's the second book of the year. I don't remember what I read last time, so I'm gonna start from the beginning again. That print is teeny tiny, much smaller than I remember, so this one might take me a little while. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll love it. Who knows? I can feel my voice going a little bit, so we're gonna wrap this up. But just know this is my current read, and I'm proud of myself, and I'm really looking forward to finally getting to this. I think I'm gonna love it. I did get some Junaida books from Hayato for Christmas, so I need to fit them in my Junida section, which I think means I'm gonna do like a big rearrange, I think, of the bookshelf, because the way things are just set up, sections aren't able to stay together. Books that I want to be together kind of keep getting shifted. So I think I'm gonna do just like a full reset of the shelf. But obviously I feel like ass right now. And moving around a lot tends to spike a fever because my body's not fully recovered. I was gonna do it in this vlog, but I think what I'll do is just close this vlog out and then start the next one and include that reorganization in the next vlog, as well as my thoughts on The Helm of Midnight. So I hope that everyone's holiday season was amazing. I'm sorry for the lack of the really fun end of the year content that I really like to make. Like, I want to make it and I know you guys want to watch it. It's just gonna be late this year. It's on slightest timing. It comes when it comes. Every year at least once. So we're working with what we got. So I hope you enjoy this like holiday season shorter reading vlog. Let me know in the comments down below what you read over the holiday season, how the start of the year is going for you, and if anyone else is starting off the year sick as a dog. Would love to hear. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that bell. I'd love to have you as part of this community and I appreciate it. But for now, I'm gonna head out. Johnny.